Good morning you guys, it's Karen and I thought I would come and review this bronzer for you. It's a new bronzer by Bare Minerals called Invisible Bronze, and I have been looking for a bronze for a while, a new bronzer for a while. I've got three here that I'm going to compare it with. My Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow, the Hourglass in Luminous, and my NARS Laguna. You can see how much I've used of my NARS Laguna. This is probably the most similar one. So it's not that I was running out of bronzer, but I don't use the Hourglass one very much because it's a little bit too luminous for me. The Charlotte Tilbury one suddenly started disappearing from my face. I do still like the colour and everything. And I love my NARS one, but I just was interested in trying something new, and you can see that I'm going through this fairly quickly. So I saw this bronzer and thought that looks like it might be a perfect colour for me, because the problem with bronzers for me is that they're usually too dark or too orangey, and this one looked perfect. Now it does come in more than one colour, which I will tell you about. I'll read the website, what they say about the claims, the colours, etc. When I say reading the claims, I'm actually reading from the Sephora website, because this is not showing on any online site at the moment. It's not showing in Boots. I bought this in Boots for £22. It's not showing on Boots. It's not showing on even the Bare Essentials site, which is, I believe, Bare Minerals is Bare Essentials in the USA. I'm not 100% sure that's how it works, but yeah, I can't find it anywhere except in the US. So it is brand new out, but it is in the Boots stores. If I put this up before it's available online, you can get it in the Boots stores. So there are 4 shades of this. This one that I've got is fair to light. And then you've got medium, tan, which says it's the ideal bronze for tan skins, medium for medium, and then there's one called dark to deep as well. The dark to deep one I didn't see in the store, and on the Sephora site it says coming soon, so I don't know whether that's like a 4th one that will be coming out. I only saw the 3. I actually asked the assistant what colour she thinks I should get, and she said medium. But I'm glad that I got the fair to light, actually, because I do think this, I'll show you me putting it on, and I do think this is the best suited to my skin. I suppose what I said to her was I sometimes put self-tanner on, or I mostly put self-tanner on. And at the moment I haven't got any self-tan on because I'm having some problems with it combining with my skincare. So this is probably a good colour for me now, but with self-tanner on, maybe I would need the medium colour. So I'll show you me putting the colour on just now. Okay, let's get some colour on me. So this is what it looks like in here. This one is called Fair to Light, and I'm going to use my Lottie London brush, one of my favourite brushes to use for bronzer, and just swirl it around. It's such a lovely natural colour. And that's why I love it. And a little bit on my forehead. I'm going to bring it quite far down. I know I'm going to be putting blush over there, but I definitely need warming up today because I've no self-tan on. Okay, that is it on one side and without on the other. So you can see it goes on lovely, but let me tell you about what they claim. So they say it's a silky, ultra-fine baked bronzer to flatter all skin tones for healthy looking colour with a radiant finish. It says that it imparts a gorgeous bronze glow that's perfect for your skin tone. Yeah, they're obviously going on the it's customised and there's not just one shade, which I think is fantastic because, like I said, normally too orangey, too dark, and I imagine some people with darker skins might find that they're too light, and so this is great. It kind of covers everybody, especially if they bring out that 4th one. Smooth baked formula delivers a multi-dimensional, sheer, buildable colour that looks healthy and natural, never orange or overdone. I would agree with that. Yesterday I used a different brush. So today you saw me use the Lottie London. Yesterday I used my Eco Tools bronzer, which is a really dense brush, a really densely packed brush. And so I was worried that I'd put too much of it on, but I don't think you can. I actually built it up even using that brush. And I think that's why the lady in the store wanted me to get medium, because she said it is meant to be an invisible bronzer. So when you put it on, it just sort of, you don't need to blend it. It seems to blend itself. It's just so smooth and just beautiful. So yeah, buildable definitely. I don't know about multi-dimensional. Sheer, it is quite sheer. And it does, I think, look healthy and natural and not orange or overdone. Ultra fine reflective pearls leave a subtle glow that mimics the effect of the skin in a day The effect of skin after a day in the sun. I don't know whether there is any glow. I didn't notice any glow yesterday. I probably won't notice until watching this back whether there's any glow. There's ever such a tiny sparkle in here. If you look really closely, that I doubt will show up there, but I can see as I'm moving it about there is a sparkle to it, but it's only very slight. Let's see it next to the NARS, because the NARS is the same. Yeah, it's very, very similar to the NARS one. Actually, it looks a little bit lighter than NARS in there, doesn't it? I am going to swatch it against these other bronzers. It's formulated without parabens, sulfates or phthalates. And what else you need to know is that it's an invisible bronze made by Italian artisans. No two are exactly alike. These is sounding very much like the Hourglass type of formula, isn't it? The pigment packed formula begins as a cream, is baked on a terracotta tile for 24 hours and is then hand finished for ultra lightweight powder that feels creamy upon application and delivers pure pigments and pearl without any binders or fillers. It doesn't, wouldn't say it feels creamy, but it feels very, very soft to the touch. It is a beautiful formula. So let me get a tissue and make sure I'm clean, and then let me show you some swatches. So this is the Fair to Light. I would imagine that the Fair to Light is not going to match this NARS bronzer from just seeing them in the pan next to each other. I would imagine that the medium might match it more, yeah. So that's the Bare Minerals. That is my NARS Laguna, which is funny because there's quite a lot of difference. Actually, looking at it in that light, you wouldn't think I'd get any bronze off that, but I love the fact that I can go a bit overboard with something and not worry about looking overdone, you know. But I can see me adding the medium to my collection as well, you know. Okay, the third one is the Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow. So that's more like the NARS Laguna, isn't it? So that's the Charlotte Tilbury one. Maybe a tad lighter. And then the final one is the Hourglass Luminous Bronze, which looks like that. Or is it called Luminous Bronze? Luminous Bronze Light. That seems to be a little bit more like the Bare Minerals one, but again still a little bit darker. So let's get a good swatch on. Okay, so I've got on there, that is the Bare Minerals. That one is the NARS Laguna. Actually, swatched, it doesn't look that much darker, does it? Build it up a little bit, see if it looks any different. It doesn't look that much darker. It is a little bit darker. So Bare Minerals, NARS Laguna. That is the Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow, and that one is the Hourglass Luminous Bronze. Luminous Bronze Light, it's called. That one, the Charlotte Tilbury, seems to be the odd one out in that it is darker. It's the darkest. I think it's the most obviously the darkest. Actually, the Hourglass Luminous Bronze looks like it might be a pretty good match. So that's the Hourglass Luminous Bronze underneath the Bare Minerals one. Actually, that's more orangey, isn't it? Which is maybe why I don't love this one as much. I don't use my Hourglass one that much, and I always put it down to how sort of spangly it is. It's very sparkly and it has got more of a sheen, but looking at it there, it's obviously because it is too orangey, but that one is much more neutral. You've probably gathered by now that I love this. It applies really smoothly. I think that's a beautiful colour. Don't you think? It's a really nice neutral colour. It applies so smoothly and I don't need to worry about blending or it going patchy. I have got a really heavy hand, and so if a bronzer is too dark, it can definitely look patchy on me, but even if it's not, it can fade away patchy. And so I didn't want to review this until I'd worn it for a couple of days with different foundations. I wore a different foundation yesterday and the day before to see if that had any effect on how it lasted through the day, because there are some bronzers that I absolutely adore. For example, the Too Faced Milk Chocolate. I love that bronzer. I love that it smells of chocolate. It was the perfect colour for me, but it used to wear off my skin. After not very much time, you would see sort of a split here, and then there'd be some left here and some on my cheek, or it would just go patchy in another way. It was just always didn't wear off very nicely. And I have found that with the Hourglass a little bit, and with the Charlotte Tilbury. I do not find it with my NARS Laguna. This is probably my Holy Grail bronzer, but this is looking like it might well become my Holy Grail holy grail bronzer, because it didn't wear off at all. It looked exactly the same later on in the day as it did in the morning, and it hasn't got any claims about it lasting, so that's why I specifically wanted to test that. It doesn't say that it will stay on your skin all day, but I still felt like there was a lot of the product left at the end of the day, and it wasn't patchy. It was actually hard to tell how much of this was left at the end of the day on my face, because it is so subtle, but it is warming up my face, but it's not a stripe of bronzer, you know, so it's, I don't know, I found it difficult to see how much was left, but I found that to be a good thing, because like I said, there was no patchiness, and it still looked to me as if I had some colour on my face. So yeah, really happy. I don't think there's anything, I haven't got anything negative to say about it at the moment. It doesn't look sparkly on the skin. Like I said, I don't see any glow. We'll see when I watch it back if I can see any glow from it. I think it's a really good price for this. It's £22. I'm pretty sure it's £22. Either 22 or 24. I can't double check it online. I could check it on my receipt, but it's away buried in the bottom of my bag somewhere. But remembering that a lot of the these bronzers, these two are in the 40s to buy these. I mean, the Charlotte Tilbury comes with a highlight, and this one is kind of combined, but they're in the 40s, and this I think is about £28. So this one, being, even if it was £24, is still less expensive. And if it was £22, as I think it was, then that's the perfect price to me to pay for a bronzer. You know, it's not like you've got a small amount in here. You get, can't see it. I knew that would happen. Where's my glasses? It doesn't actually say. Oh yes, it does. 7 grams. 7 grams, 0.24 ounces. You do get a little bit more in the Nars Laguna, to be fair. So you get 8 grams in the Nars Laguna. So it's probably about the same price wise. You do get a mirror. I won't face it right at you, but you have got the full-sized mirror in there. I suppose if I had to pick something, if they said you have to pick something about it, I would prefer it was in sleeker packaging. But this, compared to other bronzers, it is pretty sleek, but just compared to the NARS, I can see that you can get it in a flatter compact, and I like things to be thin and small where possible, but you know, it's not a massive compact, it's kind of an average size. This range also includes highlighters. It's the same kind of principle, the invisible bronzer and invisible highlight. In fact, it's called Invisible Glow Powder Highlighter. It also comes in 4, although the final colour, the bronze and coral, doesn't seem to be released yet, so again, it may be the same with the bronzers. There is a fair to light, which is beige and opal. There is a medium, which is pink and gold, and there is a tan, which is champagne and copper. But like I said, I didn't swatch any of those when I was in Boots, but I may well do the next time I come across the Bare Minerals range. I might well have a look at those because I imagine they'll be beautiful. That's everything. Let us know if you've tried it already, because it's on Sephora and Ulta, so I don't know how long it's been out in the US, but let us know what you think. I'll give you a quick rundown of what's on my face. I have got on my Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation in light neutral, fair light neutral, I think. It's the second from lightest on QVC. I actually want the one below that, but it's always sold out on QVC. Anyway, that's my foundation. On my eyes, I've got a pigment on the inner part called Cultured Pearl by Bare Minerals, funny enough. And then I just used my Illamasqua Rose Gold palette for brow and outer corner and all of the rest of that. You saw me put on bronzer. For blush, I used Clinique Ice Lotus. If I got it here now, I've put it away. Clinique Ice Lotus blush. And on my lips, it's one of the actually, I mixed a couple of things. I mixed the 2 Lottie London liquid lipsticks on my lips, so it's a bit of a mishmash going on there. That's everything. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you soon.